Shouldn't have did that. Now what am I going to have? Where over and over again he says if you give, he gives it back. He gives it back more. He does. It's the little things in the Bible that mess us up. It's the little things. No appreciation for who he is. So today we're giving him a little appreciation. Making you think about what he's done for you already in your life. You need to think about how bad it would be without him. You need to display that to your children. Your children need to know that you love the Lord. You need to know what he's done for you. You need to grow up and really know that. And know that that same Father is the perfect Father. I'm telling you today, I hope you got the same Father. Hope you got the same family. Hope you just didn't say a prayer when you was real little. And you got to keep going to your parents for security. Hope it's never like that. I hope it's real to you, that you're saved. And you know it. Because if you know it, then he's your Father. Then his message is for you. Think about the God, the only true God, the creator of all, the holy, almighty, righteous God chose us for children. Think about that. Please think about that. Think about that Bible. Coming out of the womb, spewing lies. You know what it says? Thinking liars. No liars come out of the womb. But they're so cute. They're so Gucci. Get God's definition every now and then. You'll do fine. Tell you all about kids from baby all the way up. Man's heart's desperately wicked. God says, who can know it? We can't, but he can. That means he really knows how desperate it is. So you see, when you understand some of that, and then you'll understand more of his love for us. It's love beyond anything you can comprehend. It's not a mushy, fuzzy thing. It's like a commitment to us. It's like mercy and grace being committed to us. With no regard for what we're going to even do in the future. He just blessed us and took care of us and is taking care of us. And we're going to end up in heaven because of him. And it's all him. The only way we fit in is down here where we can finally do something for him because we love him because he first loved us. It's the only way it's going to work. That's why you can go to him and say, Lord, I don't understand what I'm going through. I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand this or this or this other thing. And part of us even knows what could be the problem. And yet we still come to him and talk to him like that. And he doesn't send lightning down to kill us. He patiently waits for us. He works circumstances around us to show us what we need. And then when we get it, if we're grateful for it, we say, thank you, Lord. Most of the time, it happens good, works out good, we go on our merry way, then later on, P.S. Oh, God, yeah, thank you. Instead of immediately understanding that he's the one that did it for us and thanking him there. You know, when you teach your kids when they're growing up, somebody gives them something, you don't wait a half hour later and say, here's their number, call them up and tell them thank you. I mean, if you're a good father, what do you say? You should be more sensitive. I said a good father, not a good mother. What do you say? Thank you. Now you bum the kid out because now he's not doing it with a cheerful heart and all this. You ever read all them books? Don't care, man. You say thank you. Why? Because you better say you're thankful. When he gets a little older, it'll change up. But then you won't have to do nothing. Why? Because you know what they'll do? They'll say thank you. Yeah. So here we are with God, weeks or months later, we look back and say, oh man, I did get a job. I am making money. But we're going to cut on the substance part right now. We'll cut out, this is my little plug. We'll cut on the tithe and offering right now because I got to get it together first. Oh, who got you a job? Oh, you prayed to get a job. Yeah. Then you honored God with your substance, right? Oh, not yet? Okay. Week goes by, 2 weeks. I need a job. I thought you just had a job. I did, but I don't know what happened. Then the preacher, if he's mean, he'd say, "Did you give the Lord anything on that? You prayed him for that? You thank him for it?" Well, I was gonna. Yeah, I remember one time in 1978 I was gonna. It cost me a car. It cost me looking at a car in my backyard for 4 years to pay it off. You say, why? Because he did all that, got my first car, didn't do what I was supposed to do. How do you know that? Because when I got in that accident and I found out that the insurance expired, we didn't make the payment. And it was me alone in that car. And I remember what I thought 2 weeks before that and what I told God to wait on. And all that stuff come to my mind at that time. You say, well, that didn't happen. Or that happened. Oh, that happened. And you had to look at it in the backyard. Yeah, I looked at the backyard for 4 years. Paying. Well, that could have been this. No, you analyze yourself. I know why it happened. It taught me a lesson. I had a Suburban once. Charity knows I had a Suburban. And we got in a little bit of an accident with the Suburban. And I remember Galilean had a big push for, they had to get money to pay off a burn mortgage or something. I forgot what it was. And so I figured I had, I was getting where I had a decent job at that time. And so I said, okay, I'll pay, I think it was like $5,120 or something. I'll give. In the spur of the moment, because everybody's raising their hand. And I can remember doubting that. Like 2 weeks later, I went to Dr. Noe and I says, man, everybody was caught up with that stuff, and there's no way I can get that. I mean, I don't know when I can get that. I don't know if I can even pay that. He says, you know what? Do what you got to do. It's no big thing. Then I got in an accident. You know what the accident cost me? Exactly what I told God I'd give him. And when I got that message, you know what he did? He let me pay it for a few years, and then all of a sudden they called up and says, you owe $3 grand, but we can't take this $20 a year with this, because they asked how much you could pay. And they let me slide. God's my witness. They let me slide. They were sick of the paperwork. My little money. Well, now you know how to do it, preacher. No, you missed the whole point. This is God dealing in your life. And if you ain't got him dealing in your life like that and other things, you're suspect to me. Because how in the world are you going to know God? How are you going to prove these verses in this Bible? That's why I said, if everybody here is pulling together, how can we not make it? I'm serious. If we're lifting up this church and the people in this church and not tearing them down and finding fault, how can we not make it? We're obeying God by doing that. No discord among the brethren, right? Harmony. Not looking for the bad, building up the good. Go to God, you have peace about that. Well, at least I'm serving that church. I'm under that preacher. He hasn't told me to go out and party and smoke dope or do anything wrong yet. Pretty good. I got guarantees in that Bible that God will come in here and do what he's going to do. And there's still a possibility that he's working in some other areas that, I'm telling you, that's what keeps me hanging on. I would hate to leave this church and that'd be the time that God's going to bless it. For me to go out and get a church with, 200 members or something, or 150, I'm too mean, that'll never happen. But if I got out there and something like that and they offered me Blue Cross Blue Shield and, I heard these guys. Man, insurance, library budget, vacation, retirement, and a vehicle. I wouldn't even know how to act. As soon as I pick one of them, if that happened to come up there, I know exactly what would happen. I said, what happened? I left, that's why it happened. It must have been why I left.